You to react as me, and when we get a verdict, we'll be talking about this a lot, about the protests and some of the unrest across the country that we're preparing for, is our great panel. The host of Rob Smith is Problematic, Rob Smith, along with former Director of Social Justice for the 2016 Bernie Sanders campaign, Teslin Figaro, and Karith Foster is here, an independent voter who has her own consulting company. First off, Karith, let's start with you. What are they protesting?
Brian, you know what? A lot of people are angry right now. I get it. We knew going in half the country was going to be upset about this, but this is not the way that we handle it. This is not the way to, you have your rage, but channel it in a way that brings people together. How about volunteering in underserved neighborhoods, not contributing to destruction and disarray? Like, this isn't going to help anybody with anything. It's not going to help businesses. It's not going to help people in their communities. We got to do better.
Yeah, Rob, I do not think any of those people burning the flag wanted to serve you ziti in a homeless shelter. So that is somewhat of an issue. If you don't even have a verdict, can't you pause your fake anger until you actually know what you're angry at?
I don't think so. I mean, look, these cities and these businesses were boarded up over the past week. We saw this happening in Beverly Hills. We saw it happening in New York City. We saw it happening in D.C. And they were not boarded up because they thought Trump voters were going to revolt. They were boarded up because of Biden voters. Now, we have seen this stuff over the past few months with how they've reacted with all of this rioting in all of these different cities. They have been trained to react if they don't get their way in this violent way. And they, thought that things weren't going their way last night.
Right. Can I go to you, Teslin? Let's talk about Kenosha. We know about the riots. We know the president went there. We know these cities were destroyed because of the shooting that took place. And we see where this went. Kenosha seems to have gone heavily for the president of the United States. Technically, it's under his watch, but he's not in control of every city, Teslin. You think the voters digested that?
Well, first, I'm an independent voter. I think that's really important to say. But the same way you said that it happened on his watch, that's the same thing that we're seeing with the other protesters. If he's not in control of what happened with Kenosha, then he's also not in control of what happened right now on the West. And that goes the same for the left. That's also not in control of people exercising their right to protest. As a veteran, I would say that people certainly have the right to protest. Whether people agree with the timing of the protests or not is another conversation. But the reality of it is people do have a right, and guess what? It's just a handful of people. Millions of people voted last night. So I'm really not buying into this fear factor that, there's going to be a civil war that starts tomorrow. The bottom line is most Americans will be clocking into work like they normally do on Twitter during their break, and so that they can pay their bills on next week. So this is not some massive disarray that's about to happen all over the country. There will be people who are upset because fear has been stoked on both sides, the Republicans as well as Democrats.
All right, I want to work my way around here and talk about what didn't happen. What didn't happen, there is no blue wave. There's a battle for the Senate. It's going to be razor thin if the Democrats get it or the Republicans get it. What didn't happen is a bunch of Democratic Republican states didn't turn blue, like Florida, Texas, and Kansas. You want to take that, Karith? Are you surprised about what didn't happen, even though there's a lot we still don't know?
Listen, there is a lot we don't know. I'm here in Dallas. I'm in Texas, and I'll be honest, I was very surprised by the amount of Biden signs that I saw. Almost as many Trump signs. I'm not surprised because the Democrats, God love them, they need to get their message under control. There is a reason why so many people, especially people of color, are leaving the Democratic Party. I also am an independent, and we have a problem right now with bringing people together, and to just assume that you would have all of the votes of people from a certain demographic, as I mentioned yesterday, that's really dangerous and it's insensitive. And you know what? I think they've learned their lesson. They're learning the message. They're hearing the message.
20 seconds real quick, Rob. It does look like the American people wanted a revolution.
No, the blue wave was a pipe dream. I don't know what anybody was smoking when they thought that Texas was going to flip blue. And the polls were all wrong, just like they were in 2016. There's a lot of lessons to be learned here, and we're going to learn them over the next few days.
Tesla, and it looks like whether it's President Biden or President Trump, they're not going to have the votes in the Senate to add states, overthrow the Electoral College, and get rid of the filibuster.
Well, it's going to be a lot of stuff that's not going to happen. You know, the votes are still out. I hate to speculate. I know that's a part of our job to see how things shake up. But like we just said, people just bottom line didn't know what they were talking about, just like in 2016. So we just have to wait to get these votes in. But when they do, rest assured, I have a whole list of things that I can point out that went wrong as far as on the left side of things. So we'll just see how it shakes up. But as it's looking now, this is a competitive race. And guess what? Democrats had to compete. And now we're going to see if they actually did what they said they were going to do. And right now it's looking like it's very, very close and will continue to be. So we'll just see how it shakes up.
Good. We'll have you back because maybe we can knock some states off this list because it's way too long right now and things we don't have the verdict on. Thanks. Talk to you again soon. Thanks to all of you.